What's up, SNA Assassinators? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another video. 10 seconds after making a very great Friday Night SmackDown review, which it literally was like a go-home show, to be honest, to say the least. And yeah, we're going to be talking about what exactly went down on AEW Rampage, which we got some very good matches, like from start to finish, which the main event match was definitely indeed the number one match of the night. But I'll say, like the rest two, I'll say they were pretty decent, but still was good enough to watch and very entertaining. But we're gonna start off on today with what's his name, Roosh, which we haven't seen him in the next week. Seen him in the last week or two. He took on Commander with a K. This is where we got the match starting. This is where we got him going for. That's where we got Commander with a K trying to go for a handshake of respect first, but this is where we got Bruce push it out of the way because he's now back as a heel, and this is where he tried to go. This is where he tried to go for a grapple and try to beat him in the grappling war. But this is where we got Commander with a K counter, and this is where he tried to go for a headlock. But this is where we got Commander didn't get Irish whipped by what's his name, Roosh. This is where he tried to grab onto him, but he gets sliding Hurricane Rana by the man that does not know how to spell the actual word commander. This is where then he tried to go for a springboard moonsault, but this is where we got Roosh to trip him right over, hit him face first right to the bottom of the ramp. Oh, and I forgot to tell you that Don Callis was in commentary with Excalibur and Taz, I believe. Or I believe it was Taz. I think it was that, yeah. Oh no, it was Don Callis, Excalibur, and I believe Tony Schiavone. But this is where we got Roosh to roll back in and roll back out of the ring. He collected Roosh. This is where he hits a knife edge chop. This is where he knocked him right down, right onto the ground. This is where then he threw him face first, right onto the barricades, like right to the right, and then the top corner. This is where then he grabbed onto the commander. This is where then he tossed him back first right onto the other corner. This is where then he started beating him down a little bit. This is where then he redid the count, like before Aubrey Edwards get the 10. This is where then we got Rooston grabbing every single chair out. This is where then we got Rooston start trying to choke him with a wire, which he nearly choked him out. Like we did not know for sure because Aubrey Edwards did not check on him. It was Alex Alberhentes. This is where then we got what's her name? Aubrey Edwards then gave him the really look. This is where he's like, did you really have to be so cruel to him? This is where she was like, get your rear end back in the ring and forget this choking nonsense. This is where then we got what's his name was trying to talk him back to life. Alex Abrahantes like, you cannot let him do this to you. Like you can do this. Like you need to wake back up. Like he cannot intimidate you. Like you're a commander with a K, and the reason and you're that for a good ass reason. And he's like so get back in this ring and prove him that and prove him wrong. And then this is where. Once he tried to do that, he end up with a power slam by Roosh. This is where he went right to the bottom ropes, and then the top rope ran back and forth. This is where then he hit him with a double foot stomp right into the midsection, the double stomp, I should say. This is where the Rooston gave a big grin, like saying, looking like that looking like if he just achieved some kind of an award or something like that. I don't know, like exactly in particular. But this is where, he starts smiling. This is where he's like, wants to see more of that. This is where then we got him start stomping repeatedly right onto the midsection of Roosh. This is where we got him then tee up a imaginary ball like if it was football. This is where he kicked it right up in the uprights. He thought he made it go into the goal. This is where then Aubrey Edwards reminded him saying like you're wrestling, not playing football right now. Like if you wanted to play football, you should have tried. Then we got Roosh was like, yeah, but that was very beautiful for a good 3-pointer right there. This is where then he send him right to the left side. This is where then he tried to go for a body drop. This is where I believe he bowed his head a bit too long because once he tried to flip him right over, this is where we got Commander with the K, then flip right out of it, try to go for a sunset flip. But this is where Roosh then then Smart would grab onto Commander with a K, try to go for a clothesline, but this is where we got Commander then duck out of clothesline, went to the right side, hit a fine head scissors and DDT. This is where then he had him roll out of the ring into the bottom. In the bottom corner, this is where then we got Commander with a K, then followed him right on the outside. This is where we got Commander getting right to the bottom. Went to the bottom corner apron because that's where. We got this is where what's his name was that Roosh. This is where Roosh caught him from this power bomb. This is where he spinned him. That's where he picked him right up and then slammed him right back first into the barricade. This is where then Don Callis was like, yeah, that was very nice. And he said it in Spanish, like as well, after saying that was a nice hit. This is where then he started doing more punishments onto Commander K. Even when he threw him back in the ring, he started trying to pull his mask off. This is where then we got Aubrey was threatening to disqualify him if he did such a thing. This is where then Roosh was like, you cannot do that. This is not against the law. And this is where Aubrey was like, well, the last time I checked in Lucha Libre, like it is against the law, like in professional wrestling, and you lose instantly if you try to show that disrespect. And then this is where we got Roosh and starts smiling like, ha 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 ha, like how delusional. This is where then he started turning around with the fans starting. And I believe the fans were chanting some non-PG, which I believe it distracted Bruce, and it kind of offended him, maybe, or maybe it was something offensive and not non-PG per se, but just still saying like it was something insulting either way, like whatever they were saying. But this is where then we got Bruce was like, you know what, forget it. Like, why do I even care? This is where then he grabbed onto Commander with a K, then hit a big stinging unforgiven chop. Then started double foot stomp in the shoulders, like if we were doing two legs at the same time, like version of what Spike Dudley and Sami Zayn would do. This is where then he went right to the upper left side, like where he was diagonal against Commander with a K that was sitting right into the bottom rope. This is where he's about to hit him with the bullseye double drop kick, but this is where we got him then tricked Commander with a K, hit a boot right into his face. This is where then we got Roosh then rolled right back up. This is where he did the pose like this, where he laid up right up and put his hand up in the air, like if he's the new Andrade in AEW. This is where then he's like, I'm your new El Idolo. This is where, and he then grabbed onto Commander with a K right up on the top. Right up on the top rope. This is where he tried to go for an avalanche suplex, but he's like, before I do so, I want to take this thing off his head. This is where Don Callis was loving it in commentary with him saying, like, he's ripping his mask off, trying to break his neck. Like, I'm loving this even more. And then this is where the commentators was like, yeah, that's completely nuts. Like, why do you want to see this guy that's well respected next, like probably second or third to Rey Mysterio, like in the Lucha Libre community, like want him to get hurt? Like, and Don Callis didn't have nothing else to say because he's obviously an evil human being in all of wrestling. This is where we got a swift kick by Bruce. This is where he started kicking dust right onto his midsection. This is where then we got Bruce to like started walking forward. This is where then he started going for a double drop kick. This is where Alex Abrahantes was crying and whimpering, like according to Don Callis. And I was like, he really had to point out, like even if it's true, like man, this guy is a very obnoxious and harassing figure in all professional wrestling. How did he sleep in bed at night? Like with him criticizing those that's not like him. That's not like him, and that's actually the complete opposite. That complete opposite of him that you actually want to be as a person, like not as and not a horrible one at that in that matter. Yeah. Like, and Don Callis, like he's a very evil figure, at least in the wrestling business. I don't know what he does in his outside of his wrestling life. Like, I guess that it's best for not me knowing this at all. But this is where we got Roosh to try to go for a double drop kick this time with Commander with a K in the bottom right side in a Tree of Woe position. This is where it did not work successfully, because he kind of already did this move partially, but only with his 1 foot, like when he stopped himself. And yeah, y'all gonna be saying with Austin, you said it has to be exactly the move. I did say that, but it doesn't matter. I did say that, but it doesn't matter what kind it is. It's the same difference. It's it could be with 1 foot or it could be with 2 feet. Which that wasn't a guarantee the second time because you already hit it the first time technically. This is where we got the Commander with a K, then went right up on the top rope, hit a diving corkscrew tornado splash, take down Roosh. But this is where Roosh got back up. This is where he tried to go over clothesline, but this is where we got Commander with a K, then hit him with a running arm drag, and this is where he sent him right to the right side. Commander with a K starts slapping the canvas, trying to get back up and trying to dive at him into the right side. This is where then we got Commander with a K. It was like, all right, and this is where then he starts saluting to the fans. This is where then he hit a suicide dive right onto hit a suicida, actually it's called. I believe that's I guess that's Spanish for suicide dive. This is where he went right up on the right side of the apron, hit a springboard moonsault right onto Roosh. This is where then he picks up the El Faction back in the ring. This is where we got Commander with a K, then went up right up on the top rope. This is where then he started smacking onto the apron. This is where then he runs right into the right corner side rope. And this is where I believe he was walking on it, if he was the Undertaker when he was doing the old school, or it was a shooting star press actually that he hit on the Roosh. Roosh kicks out at 2.8. This is where Roosh then try to run up to the Commander with a K. This is where he tripped him right over, right up in his knee, hit the face. This is where he hit some roundhouse kicks about a couple times. Then followed up with a knife edge chop that earned him a number 7 spot in Gunther's Envy list of the night. Even though it was less intimidating, but he still gets the list. And the next time he sees him, he's gonna be splatted by Dunning General's chops and teach him a lesson. This is where we got what's his name? This is where we got Commander with a K ran right to the left side, but he getting hit with a headbutt. This is where we got Roosh, then got the advantage now. This is where then he picks them up, put them right up on the top rope, right onto the apron in the hard way. Once the Commander with a K, they try to go for a top rope. This is where he hits the sideways avalanche suplex, like if he's Claudio Castagnoli when he faced Kofi about 11 years ago. This is where we got to try to go for a pin, but he only got 2.9999999999999. Minus 0.1 away from being 3. This is where we got Rooston hit a knife edge chop. This is where then he tried to take a bite out of crime right out of Commander with a K's head. This is where we got him to try to grab onto. This is where the Commander with a K hit him with a jawbreaker, but this is where he tried to go for some kind of a running attack move. He did not know what the move he was hitting. Ginormous mistake. He gets belly-to-belly suplex right onto the concrete floor. This is where he got grabbed onto his mask. This is where he was halfway from taking the mask off, but this is where then Roosh put him right to the bottom left side and to the bottom. This is where the Roosh was barking at the fans. This is where they start barking and chanting his name at the same time. This is where we got, what's his name, Tony Schiavone hilariously said, I see why Don Callis wanted this guy is very unbelievable, and he didn't mean that by a compliment. This is where then he hit him with a double clothesline, a double drop kick right to the face, which I believe the third time was the charm for him. This is where the Roosh try to go for a pinfall. He gets the 1, 2, 3, and the winner of this match, Roosh. And I want to give a big congratulations. This is where the Don Callis is like, yeah, this is why I need you in my Don Callis family. You're the guy that's exactly what I'm looking for. And this is where then we got Rooston and send Commander with a K right to the right side of the barricade. This is where then he went right into the back. This is where then we got Konosuke. Not so long after, this is where we got Konosuke Takeshita. I'm just kidding. Takechika team with his Don Callis brethren. what's his name? Kyle Fletcher, which they had a match against the Private Party, and this match was very interesting and entertaining, which I give the third place spot, third best wrestling match of the night. This is where, we got started off with, I believe, was Konosuke Takeshita and what's his name? But before, we get into that match is where we got the Kingdom, the Undisputed Kingdom. They getting interviewed by Renee Paquette. This is where we got. This was like, oh, you talking about Kapui? Like when when Renee Paquette asked a question. Here's where then or what she was talking about? It was what's it like that? Renee Paquette asked her, you like you have a lot of issues as of late, like with teaming with Cassidy. This is where we got Roderick Strong hilariously and annoyingly shouted Renee Paquette's name or first name in a loud manner, saying Renee, and then he's like I don't give a damn what about the. And it is where it's like in the glamoration, like I like when you hear that name, like I feel that's an abomination. Like I feel like Christmas in July, because I missed it twice. Like in that last, Ishii, he looked like a half a stone, man. He's like you got Mark Briscoe, you look like a Cornelius with a if UConn had teeth, like and I hate the, and he was like. And he's like, and the one I hate the most, the one that called himself the dentist, like the one I have forgot about our tech, that and the guy that I've never forgotten about. We had what's that? Texas Death Match, Orange Cassidy, like in the Melvin, and this is what he's like, and like, but but the only thing that we like about in this new friendship group, like, is Kyle O'Reilly because that's our friend too. And in this word, we got Mike Bennett did say like you know, he's like the only thing I think about that group other than conglomeration, like I just call that I did apui like to the. I would do the apui on all of the members of that friendship group, and I was like, "What? Where that even came from?" The hot pooey, like it sounds exactly like what Simon would say when it comes when the wrestler spat on this in this ladder. This is where Bar Strong said, "I had no real issues until last week." Like, and as for you, Ishii, and he said it out loud right for the like it's been 3,059 days since you beat me for the Ring of Honor TV title, like which sounds like a few years ago. And remember, I'm not gonna forget, like I'm not gonna forgive either until I put your ass down. Well, actually, I think it was a decade ago, but it's where he said, like, and as for you, Kyle, like I don't care, I don't give a damn, like how long it takes, like how many times like that we have to remind you, like you better like with me, Kyle, your best friend Roddy. And it is where we do get the tag team match with Private Party taking on team Don Callis family, Konosuke Takeshita and what's his name? Kyle Fletcher. This is where they attacked him from behind in a heelish way. This is where they got into like a 2-on-1 tornado cluster until we got the referee finally settle things up and settle things and put everything where it's put everything together where it's supposed to be. Sort of. This is where we got starting off with Kyle Fletcher and Isaiah Cassidy. This is where he hits him with a step-up insecurity. This is where he started clapping, like after he hits the striking maneuver. This is where he tried to go for a clothesline right onto Kyle Fletcher, but this is where he flips right onto over the ropes on the outside. But this is where we got his tag team partner Mark Quinn picks him right up, put him back in the ring. This is where then we got Mark Quinn to hit a strike right onto him. Like after he tagged in his partner Isaiah, this is where he hits the springboard drop kicks, the springboard missile drop kick. This is where we got. This is where we got what's his name, Mark Quinn, then picks up Kyle Fletcher. But this is where he flipped the table over. This is where he hits body slam. This is where we got Konosuke Takeshita gets tagged in. This is where he gets he start hitting Mark Quinn with right hands right into the face. This is where we got Irish whipping Mark Quinn right into the upper left side. This is where he hits him with an elbow strike and then followed up with a big boot. This is where he hits a moonsault. This is where he tried to go for a pin, but this is where we got Takeshita kicking out of it. This is where we got him going for a suplex. This is where we got this is where we got what's his name? Konosuke Takeshita then counter try to go for a suplex of his own. This is where we got this is where we got Isaiah Katz try to help him out, try to go for a double suplex. This is where we got Konosuke Takeshita then hit a double suplex right onto him. Excuse me for a moment. And this is where then he eventually tags in Kyle Fletcher. Hey, Miri. How you been doing, kid? Yeah, sure. Yeah, my bad. But yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I hate to kick them. It's in the water last time I hit them. I'm still flying. I took both water and my Arizona before I could get my contact. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why they bought them to drink, but it's neat. I've been hard and I'm flying so fast. I'm gonna watch this now. Here's 450. So when it's done, they see it with this. You're welcome. I don't be lazy, but okay, we can take it out. Thank you so much. I have like a half an hour with my podcast. I'll be done after that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, SNA assassinators. We got Kyle Fletcher that gets tagged and he gets both private party guys. This is where then he lined them up or stacked them on top, pulling a Roman Reigns. And this is where we got Kyle Fletcher. I'm not Konosuke Takeshita then hit a sit out senton. This is where they start looking dominant. This is where they start continuing their two-on-one disadvantage on Mark Quinn. This is where then we got him put him right up on the top rope. This is where he tried to go for what's that avalanche suplex maneuver? This is where they continue to do a 2-on-1 disadvantage onto the private party member. But this is where we got him managing the what's that called? The tag in what's his name? Mark Quinn finally tags in his tag partner Isaiah Cassidy, started hitting some comeback moves, but yet it did not did much to help him and his private party brother out, because they managed to hit them with the sit-out brainbuster once they got back in control. Kyle Fletcher goes for a pin, with Konosuke Takeshita doing the same with Isaiah Cassidy. This is where they got the shoulders up. This is where even Don Callis admitted that these two kids are tough, which they are completely tough. Nothing's not going to put them away that easily. This is where we got Kyle Fletcher to go for a suplex onto Mark Quinn, but he flips him right over to Takeshita. This is where we're about to hit this version of a Styles Clash, or even a power bomb. But once he tried to lift him up and try to send him right to the ground off the middle ropes, this is where he gets Hurricane Rana sent right over the Isaiah Cassidy, which he called him into a cutter right into the ring. This is where they hit him with I believe they call it the gin and juice, which hopefully they don't get no infringement from a certain rapper that came up with that song. But anyway, that even has his own line of alcoholic beverage with that name. But anyway, this is where what's his name? This is where we got Isaiah Cassidy flips right over the top rope onto what's his name? Right onto what's his name? Mark Quinn. I mean, this is where Mark Quinn went up the top rope. He had the DDT onto Isaiah Cassidy. This is where Isaiah Cassidy did the DDT on Kyle Fletcher. Actually, it was Kyle Fletcher that he did the DDT on. This is where we got Mark Quinn to go for a swanton 450. No, it was a 450 splash. What's the swanton? This is where we got Isaiah Cassidy to go for a moonsault. What's that? A springboard moonsault. But this is where we got what's his name? Mark Quinn to try to go for a pin, but this is where Konosuke Takeshita kicks out of it at 2.9999999999999 double triple nine minus 0.1 away from being 3. And I was like, wow, did he just literally just kick out of that at the last second? This is where we got the private party that tags, and this is where we got the private party that was about to hit the double team tag team maneuver onto to Konosuke Takeshita, which we got Mark Quinn then tagging in Isaiah Cassidy, the double Irish